Hello, I'm Colin Bradley. Welcome to my second series of art lessons featuring the pastel pencil. Now, I'm going to depart from my usual simplistic techniques on this picture and show you something a little more complex. It's of Romney Church in Kent, which is on the Kent and Sussex border on the Romney Marshes. But I think you'll find it very interesting and above all inspiring. Now, this is the original pictures of St Mary's Church, New Romney. I painted several years ago, and we're going to be reproducing it here in this series of lessons. Now, I show you this because I want to show you how it looks when it's finished, but how we really have to think about it, planning it before we start. Now, you see these trees here that are superimposed against the sky, and the same here, and same in the church. Now, all of this has got to be taken into consideration when we start the sky. Now, I don't want too much detail in the sky, but what we have to do is make it light enough so that all of these set well against it. And one of the most difficult things is going to be setting this tree against it, because if we do the sky completely, it's going to be difficult for this colour on the trunk, on the branches, to set against the background. The reason being that the sky colours will interfere with it. So we do that in a very special way. So that's what we have to think about right at this beginning of time. But here we go. Now I'm going to start off with the white inevitably, because we need to bring in a nice light colour. Now, although I'm going round, as you can see, the church with the white, the church spire with the white, and also the roof. When I rub that, I've got to make sure there's plenty of white on it. When I rub it, inevitably I'm going to get some of the white seeping over. Now that doesn't really matter too much, and I'll explain that a little bit later on why I'm not so concerned about it. But I'm just making sure that I do have enough colour on that. I mean, this is a really important lesson for me to show you, so I'm going to spend as much time as it needs to, even if it's a whole of the first lesson dealing with it. Now, you see that? You see how I'm doing it? I'll be going in closer in a minute, but I want you to see the whole thing. Now, when it comes to the branches here, it's exactly the same thing applies. However, those little diddly ones there, we can't go round, but these we can. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing with these heavy branches. Okay. Now, it might seem very fiddly at the moment, but I assure you there isn't any other alternative. You can see that, can you? Now let me go in closer so that you can see this better. Okay, now I'll just finish this off, this little section. I only need to do one part of this to show you what I mean. Now rub it in, and as I said, some of the white is going to stray over the branch, and the same here. Now I'm not going to stop this until it's as I want it. Now that is pretty good. Now this one, it's impossible to go around there, so I've got to go over it. Now the thinking behind all this is that if I was to keep putting colour upon colour of colour, pastel all over this, I'd have a problem in putting any dark colour on top of that. Okay, so what I've got to bear in mind is I mustn't put too much colour on. I've got to put enough white so that my subsequent colours are going to go into it and create the correct colour. But I can't be too fussy. This is why I say this sky has got to be quite simplistic. Okay, so that's good. And what I can then do what I will do when I finish the remaining colours on that, I can then take the colour off using my double-ended eraser. That's the soft part of the rubber. Can you see how well that comes off? See? You can just see the difference between the two. Anyway, that's a long way off yet, but that's the principle behind it. So what we're doing, and exactly the same with the tower here. Here, what I can do eventually, and I will do, is to remove that there. It comes off easily. Now, one other point is that comes off easily because I've not compressed the paper. Here, I've used my pencil. Let's go over it again. Show you. I've used my pencil, and I've compressed the paper, right? And I've rubbed it in. But I haven't compressed this because I haven't used any pastel on that. Therefore, it rubs off much easier. So I hope that works. I hope I've explained it well enough to you. You will see it as we go on. I'm going to finish the rest of the sky off, and you can come back and we can start the next colour. So this is going to be all white. One other small point, though, I want to bring up. Just have a look at the original again. When we do these trees now. Here we've got a little problem here because you see the white coming in between the trees. Now how on earth do I put all the white round there first? If I put the white over the whole thing, what's going to happen is when I start to put the greens and the darker colours on top of this, it'll be subdued because of the white underneath, because it never dries. So we do that in a very special way, and I'll show you that in a minute. Here you can see that I don't have a problem because the green is quite strong and I can do these odd little bits. That's not a problem, but that would be. So I'll show you how we get over that. Now, and one more thing before we go on. The sky, you see these trees are much lighter down here. And what I actually do is bring the sky down here, right down to here. Okay? I could show you that anyway a little later on, but the reason for that is that when the greens go on, the green will be subdued, which is exactly what I wanted to do. But we don't want it to happen here. We want these to be nice and strong, but those can be weaker because they're setting a little bit further back. Right, that's all the white put in. Now I'm going to start with a little blue. This is the lighter blue. This is number 140 in our range. And what I'm doing now is just really, I've already done that one, I'm just trying to get a feel of the flow through the picture. It doesn't have to be dead accurate. Now here I've put all these little white little bits in there, and you'll see why later on. I don't want to really bother with the blue. I'm just leaving that white. And that needs to come across there like that. Okay, now that's rubbed in. Now you need to put quite a bit of pressure on this, because what I'm doing is restricting the amount of colour that I'm actually putting on the sky. I have to make sure that it sets nicely into the white like that. Now that's quite nice. And a little bit down here as well. It is a lighter blue, as I said, 140. But really, what we want is a darker blue as well. So we'll move to the 143. And this is a darker blue. And now this time I'm looking at it and thinking, I do need it darker at the top, that's for sure. But when I come down here, maybe I can leave some of the lighter blue around, just to see how that goes. Play with it a little bit, see how that looks. That's nice. And that's nice and strong up there. Oh, you can't see that, right? Nice and strong up there. That's good. So far, so good. There's a lot we can do to this sky, but I'll only do that little bit section. Concentrate on this for the moment, because there's a lot of it to worry about. You see how that's already got quite a nice line. And what we want to do now is put a little bit of pink in. Pink, you say? No, of course we do. A little bit of pink in the sky. Makes it more attractive for one thing. A little bit of pink. And also a little bit of ivory. A little bit of ivory as well. Let's see what that looks like. I have to use a different finger. Ah, it's pretty. I like that. That's good. Now, just to satisfy myself that it's working quite well, I'm now going back in with the white. Now, just using the white here just to put a little bit of extra weight. Now, I'm pressing quite hard with this. You can see I'm using the side of the point of the pencil, a little bit up there, and a little bit down here. And we'll just see what that looks like. I like that. Ah, I know. I like the effect I had there, and I destroyed it. So let's do it again. Let's see if I can do it again. Show you what I mean. That's a little bit of fluffiness on the cloud. That's it. Like it. That's nice.